Hello, you lovely, lovely people. I hope you've enjoyed this this festive time. I'm beginning to now because I've got over my cold, more or less. Got 95%. So has my son, and my wife's been out for a day. She must have a good immune system, eh? Anyway, what I want to talk about because we've been stuck in over Christmas. Because, as I said, I wasn't feeling very well. So yesterday we had a day in Dipolog. We left early in the morning. Come back about 9-10 o'clock last night. Saw the Christmas lights, all that sort of thing with the kids and things like that. Now, there's a guy, British guy, who's homeless, okay? And I've seen him around quite a few times. I've never spoke to him though. And yesterday, there were so many people in town, really, 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 many people, many cars, couldn't move, couldn't stir. So he was there, this British guy. And the reason I know he's British is because I ended up speaking to him yesterday, or he spoke to me. He come and approached me. And he looks dishevelled. He really does, honest to God. He looks dishevelled. He looks dirty. Anyway, what he's doing, about 2 years ago, he was telling me the story, people. He's telling me the story. My wife went with Kaylin. I felt a bit rude, just leave him when he was talking to me. He was telling me his story. So his story was, he came here, not for a girl. He didn't come here for a girl. He was staying in Sweden. He went from England to Sweden, had a girlfriend in Sweden, got her pregnant. They fell out, don't know why. He just said that they fell out. He didn't tell me the ins and outs of a duck's arse. He just said they fell out. And then he come to the Philippines. So I said, why did you come to the Philippines for? If he didn't come for a girl. He said, I just come to the Philippines. He said, I was either going to go to Thailand or the Philippines. I thought, strange, very strange. So anyway, he come here. And he's, I think he said is he 62, 60. Anyway, he's got no pension. He hasn't, and he wasn't working when he was in England. He was just odd jobbing. He was telling me this all yesterday, okay? He was odd jobbing. He was doing a bit of cabbie driving. He worked in the co-op as a cashier. So I said, well, how much money did you come over here with? And he said, he come over here with £5,000. I said, that was it. £5,000, no additional income, no, he said, nah. I said, well, what was you thinking? He said, I wasn't thinking anything. He said, I just come, ran out of money. I said, so what are you doing? What the heck are you doing? And he said, that the Filipinos are very good people, kind people. He said, they let me sleep in their place. And I said, well, I'm like this, I'm trying not to laugh. But I am thinking to myself, the nerve. So I said, who's feeding you? Filipinos. He said, and they even treat me to drinks as well. I think, my good God almighty. This bloke is a proper sponger. He's a chancer, that's for sure. He's definitely a chancer, but he's a sponger as well. When he's saying, and I said, paid your visa? Nah, no. So I said, well, what are you going to do? He says, well, when they catch me, they will give me a free ride back to England. I said, it's not going to work like that, my friend. It's not going to work like that. And his name is Andrew, by the way, Andy. I said, it's not going to work like that. He says, well, it will. I said, no. I said, how long have you not paid your visa for? He said, 2 years. He said, I haven't bought a visa since I've been in the Philippines. I'm like... So I said, so what makes you think that they're going to just... So, naughty boy, go on, we'll pay for your flight. Go back home to England, we feel sorry. It's not going to work like that, Andy. He said, well, what's going to happen? I said, first, they will arrest you. You will be processed, and then you will be probably sent to this place in Manila that is for foreigners who have overstayed. I said, it's a criminal offence here. No, he does it. From all the things I was telling him, he doesn't believe me. He does not believe me. So I said to him, you aren't going to get a free ride back to England. I said, have you not got any family? He said, yeah, I've got family in England. I said, well, can you contact them? Don't want to. I said, well, why not? I said, are you not close? No. He said, I haven't spoke to my brother for about 20 years. I'm thinking, oh, man. I said, parents? No, died. So I said, there is absolutely nobody in the UK who will help you. Friends? No. This man is here with no money, doesn't care. He is sleeping in Filipinos' houses for their hospitality. They are feeding him and even buying him drinks, he said. And he said a few days, Christmas time, at Christmas, he said, there was a party going on, not far from where he's staying with these Filipinos. So he said, I thought I'd take a walk down there. You have to laugh, man, because he just doesn't care. This guy just doesn't care. So he said, I walked down there, tried to get a free drink off them, and they chased me away. He said, they chased me out the house. And I said to him, because you've got a reputation as as a scrounger, Andy. I'm laughing because I just can't get over it. I wasn't going to make a video today. I really wasn't, but I thought, I've got to do this. So then he was asking about me. And I said, I've been here for almost 9 years. And I said, I'm married, I've got a kid and one on the way. And I said, there's my little boy. I'm pleased my wife coming, I think after about 45 minutes, she'd been doing shopping. I thought, I was thinking, come on, Mira, come on, save me from this, save me. Because I didn't know where she was going, see. So it's pointless me going to search for her in Lee Plaza. I thought, I'll just wait here because she knows where I am. I couldn't find her. And I was thinking, oh, Mira, please come back and save me from this guy. Please, please. Anyway, this guy seems to think that sleeping on people's sofas, Filipinos obviously, eating their food, drinking their drink, is perfectly fine. And then he's hoping that immigration finds him and he's expecting a free ride back to England. Immediately, I said, I'm going back to England immediately. So, when he was saying about me, so he said, well, how do you, sustain yourself? I said, well, I do a bit of work. And he said, but you can't work in Philippines. I said, I can. I said, I'm married. I said, I'm on a 13A. And blah-de-blah-de-blah. So, and I said to him, when you're on a 13A, when you apply for it and you go for the interview, the immigration want to know your financial capacity. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, they want to know how much money that I've got, that I earn, because they don't want me to become a burden to the Philippines. He says, oh, so they check your finances. I said, well, they ask. I said, you've got to take your bank statements and things like that in case they want to see them. But yes, I said, that's part of the requirement. They aren't just going to let you in and give you a 13A if you've got no money to support your wife and your family. It just doesn't work like that here. He seems to think, because it's the Philippines, that you can get away with anything. You can literally get away with anything. You can get away with a lot of things, but you can't get away with the things that he's getting away with. So anyway, I don't know what's going to happen to him. I don't know if he's... I don't know how long these people will put up with him, but I mean, he's got a good... I'm saying he's got a good character. He's got one of those characters where he just doesn't give a toss. But he's a friendly type of a bloke. But he does look dishevelled. He really does. He does. And he asked where I lived, right? And he hasn't got no cell phone or anything like that, so he hasn't got no internet. He doesn't go on the internet. So thank goodness, because he'd be able to find my channel. I put in my channel sometimes where I'm at, outside of Dipolog. But he was asking where I was at, and he says, can I come over and see you? I said, oh, it's all right, mate. I said, no. I said, I know what you'll do. I said, you'll end up dossing on my settee, and I'll never get shot at you. And he just laughs, he just doesn't care. But I think he's been a bit of a chancer all of his life. I mean, I was talking for a good 45 minutes. And he's just one of these people who just... Where's a chancer? He just does what he wants to do. and he suffers the consequences later. If he doesn't think that there's going to be a consequence here with him overstaying, and he hasn't got absolutely nothing. He hasn't got 1 peso, not anything. And he didn't ask me for anything either. He didn't ask me for anything. And I don't think he's bothered that he hasn't got any money. I really don't think he cares. I think he's just happy doing what he's doing. I really, really do. And where's he come from? He told me as well. Billingsgate, which is years ago. I don't know if they still do it. They probably still do. It's like the place, fish market area. You go and buy your fish, and the traders go down there. So that's where he's from. He's from Billingsgate, and he was asking me where I lived when I was in England. I said, Hastings. Oh, I know Hastings. I've been there a few times. And he said, it's got a good live music scene, hasn't it? I said, yeah. And he said, there's a bar there called the Carlisle. I said, that's right, a biker's bar. He said, I've been in there many times. He said, and they do all of the, the DRUGSs, all that sort of stuff. I said, well, I don't know. I said, probably. If the bikers go in there, he said, yeah, they do. He said, I was off my tits in there many times. Dear me. Do you know, someone like that, or people like that, he'll probably live forever because he doesn't care. His blood pressure's probably low. He's got no stress, no anxiety. He just doesn't care. I've never met a person like that. I've never met a person who doesn't care about anything. Really, I haven't. I've met people who don't care about many things, but they still got priorities. But this guy, never been married, hasn't got any children, so he says, and he hasn't, he's like not with a woman here either. I don't think a woman will go with him anyway because he hasn't got no money, has he? And he doesn't look the best. But if there's any of you foreigners who watch my channel, look out for this guy. Look out for this guy. I say he's 62, 63 years old, greyish hair, really tall. He's really tall, like a Scandinavian kind of height. Really tall bloke. And talk to him by all means. But you will, if you see him or you've seen him, you will confirm what I'm saying. Where he just doesn't care. He just does not give a rat's monkey about anything. I wish I could be like that in a way. But when he was saying about his visa, because I thought, well, he might have paid a few visas, since he's been. He hasn't paid any. He come in on that 30 or 29 day free visa thing and never renewed any of them. I didn't ask him why he come to Dipolog, and he didn't tell me. Because Dipolog isn't a place where you'd first come, in my opinion, because it's not. It's touristy friendly, it's foreigner friendly, but there's not that many attractions apart from the longest boulevard in the Philippines, apparently. But that's not really an attraction to come to Dipolog. So I don't know why he come here. And he said he didn't come here for a woman. No. And he hasn't got a girlfriend now. So I really don't know why he came here. I suppose if I'd asked him, I'd have been there for another 45 minutes while he was telling me the story of that. But I just didn't think to ask. So people, there was another guy as well. His name was Chris. And he was here for, I think, 7 or 8 years, overstayed his visa. He had a girlfriend here. They weren't married, had 3 kids. And he got caught a couple of years ago, I think, or a year ago. I can't remember. But he was the same. He was just like bumming off, the kindness of the Filipinos and of his girlfriend's family and that, because he was staying with his girlfriend's family, with his girlfriend. They were feeding him and all that. He didn't care either. Didn't care. And then he got money sent over from his family to pay for the overstays. It was like 7-year overstay. And he spent that. He spent it on drink. He's just not a care in the world. Anyway, they did come and get him. And he was in that place. He was sent to that place in Manila. And I think the British government paid for the flights for him home. And he's blacklisted. deported, and he had an arrangement or something with immigration. So his girlfriend told me that he could pay when he went back to England. But he won't. He won't. He's one of these people who just doesn't want to work. Just doesn't want to have any responsibilities. And I felt so sorry for his kids, because his wife or girlfriend and his kids were always, his girlfriend was really loyal to him. And I'm thinking, dear me, he hasn't got any money. He's sponging off you and your family, and you're still loyal to him. Don't know. But yeah, he's back in England now. And according to his girlfriend, he hasn't got any intentions of paying the money back. So that's it. He's left a family here. Just doesn't really care. I think, the percentage of people who do come over here is, a high percentage of people who come over here from all from all nations and nationalities are good. But you do get the odd ones. You do get the odd ones who come over here and, I don't know. I just don't know. They just don't give a toss. Anyway, people, we're approaching New Year. Today's the 29th, isn't it? Is it the 29th today? I think it is. So I'm going to have a good New Year's Eve, I think, because I'm getting better. I'll have a good drink with my wife doesn't drink, but we'll have a videoke in the house, karaoke as we call it. They call it videoke, don't know why. Invite a few people around, have a bite to eat, a barbecue on New Year's. Seems weird, doesn't it? And a sing song, and that's what we'll do. Simple but nice. Spend it with my family, and see what 2026 brings, people, eh? See what 2026 brings. If I don't make any more videos and I don't see you till the new year, Happy New Year, you lovely, lovely people, and have a jolly good time. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have a jolly, jolly good time. Take it easy. Bye-bye.